Hi, welcome everybody to part 4 of Leave Great Enough Alone. Today I'm going to talk about listening with your eyes, and I will explain what that means. But first, let's just start with an opening meditation so that I can set the intention for the highest good and support of your heart's desire, which is why I'm here. So my prayer feather, I just like to acknowledge that there is a higher intelligence, a higher place, a creative intelligence that is magnificent, and that we are made of this magnificent. Everything seen and unseen is made from this beauty, this marvelous, and most people who get in touch with and know the truth of this being, or whatever it is that you want to call it, know it as love. Like in the true sense of the word. That feeling of the knowingness that you're a part of something greater, that you are here for a divine purpose, that there is a reason that you matter, and that your unique gifts and talents, being authentically who you are and sharing that with the rest of the planet, is what is magnificent. And so I want to know for you that your heart's desire is being met at every single moment, despite appearances to the contrary. And that we are here today, and I claim for you that the highest good for your heart's desire is happening, and that your divine purpose is unfolding beautifully in every single way, always, forever and into eternity. And I'm grateful for this knowledge. I release it to the hands of grace, knowing that it is done as I have said. And I can say, and so it is. Amen. Aho. And we can know this together. I have a quote. My quote for the day is by William Blake. And it goes like this. If the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear to man as it is. Infinite. The trick here, especially when you're coming into a spiritual life, or if you've been in a spiritual life and you're in kind of a quandary, and it always kind of comes back to the idea that everything that we need and everything that we need to know and all the wisdom, I can call it wolf wisdom, but the wisdom that they triggered in me, these 10 beautiful creatures that I live with, is that they opened my heart to myself. My capacity to love. And that when I watch them and let them be my teachers, the incredible capacity that they have to love, not just the community of people who come here to visit them, but the community that is just within our family unit. But I marvel at how much they and how many people they take on without question and with this embrace, because they trust us. And they have learned to trust humanity in a way that is very difficult for many human beings. And I say this not as a fault. We lose our lack of trust and love, and we cut ourselves off and our hearts off to more love and all the love that we deserve, because it's mostly the loved ones or people we thought loved us that we have been hurt by. Now, that's not meant to blame anybody for anything. I'm not here to blame anybody. If it's to blame, it's man's inhumanity to man that leads to man's inhumanity to each other, that causes these rifts of selfishness and greed and superiority. And those things are very damaging to the human soul and to the human spirit. And some people do that on purpose because of this idea that power comes from without and in numbers, rather than the power that you have comes from within. That you are powerful because of who you are and what you are made of and what purpose you are here to serve. And so for those of you who have a difficult time knowing that you are loved, it unfortunately has to start with you. And it was a time in my life which was really, really difficult. and I was suffering from what they call bulimia, eating disorders. This was my addiction, and it was a huge, huge vehicle to hide who I was. And not only that, but to stuff down what was coming up in me and what I was starting to reveal to myself. And it was a way to cut off any of those memories and the denial of those things that had kept me from my happiness and my joy for most of my life. And I was given this exercise by this incredible therapist. She specialized in this. And basically, I was supposed to stand in the mirror and look myself in the eye and say, I love you 10 times and mean it. Every single morning. I still remember how hard that was. So much so because looking in the mirror was an avenue of self-deprecation for me. You know, my body image, what I looked like in the mirror, not being pretty enough, not being skinny enough, no, all of that stuff that goes along with that malady. Everybody else has their own kind of maladies if they've suffered from anything like that, but this was mine, looking in the mirror. And seeing myself whole was impossible. So I started this exercise in a way that was bearable to me, which was in this old Plymouth Volare that I had, that I had to spend 15 minutes warming up in the morning, no matter what the weather was like, in order to warm up the vehicle so it would move. And so I would sit in the driver's seat and I pulled the rearview mirror over to me and I would look at it and I made sure that all I could see were just my eyes. And I would do this exercise. And I couldn't even get to the second I love you without just water, just tons of tears. Just by 10, I was basket case. Until I kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. And so I would get to about 4 and then I'd get to about 5 before the tears would happen. What it did was it helped me listen with my eyes to the truth, whether I believed it or not, until I started to believe it. And whether you like it or not, you cannot leave great enough alone, which is you, your beautiful, magnificent being, that you are perfect, whole, and complete, just the way you are. You cannot leave great enough alone unless you know how to love yourself. I cannot be more clear. I'm 4 talks into this journey with you. But this is where you do have to start and do have to work on. As inched out as it is, you know, from here in a rearview mirror to a larger mirror image of yourself, until this holistic person that you see in front of you, you can give a break. And that's why they say it takes courage to heal, if you really want to heal, if that's what you're really looking for. There's a lot to face down. But you can find beauty anywhere, not just in that mirror. You know, the sight of a flower, stop and smell the roses. See a hummingbird, for real, watch it. See the trees and the leaves and the veins in the trees, and to look at the magnificence of all creation and see the beauty in it. And then listen what it does to your heart. Listen to the wisdom that comes from it. You can listen with your eyes. I'm going to end with this quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, who is one of my favorite teachers. Though we travel the world over to find the beautiful, we must carry it within us, or we find it not. At this point, I'd like to say, if you'd like to leave some comments or ask some questions, please do so below. Please like, share, and subscribe to everything that we have to offer. That would be wonderful to spread this message and this word, especially if it is helping you and has helped you today. Please share it with others. Please take good care of yourself. If you'd like to come up to the ranch, you can always make an appointment. If you do not want to go through this journey alone, you don't have to. I am a spiritual life coach. You can book a private coaching with me if you go to the website at shadowlandfoundation.org. And I would be happy to meet with you, either online or up here at the ranch. And we could start a journey that helps support you in this life journey and your divine destiny through your heart's desire. That is what I'd like to offer. Also, if you have a donation that you would like to share with the wolves, please do that at shadowlandfoundation.org. As I say, I do this for them because they do this for me. I appreciate your honoring me with your presence today, and have a beautiful week, and practice some listening with your eyes and loving yourself. Namaste.